Hello people, today we are going to learn, as you can see, area and perimeter but of a circle. Okay, and circles are one of the most interesting chapters in mensuration geometry. uh, Quick recap of what we did in the last video. We revised area of rectangle and square, and then we learned areas of triangle, parallelograms, quite interesting. We learned area of triangles as half of a rectangle, and it was I felt that it was quite interesting. I hope you felt the same. Similarly, parallelograms, we discovered that basically are nothing that can be converted as a rectangle and then taken the area of. Then we learned the correlation between area of a triangle and congruent triangle. We learned that congruent triangles are always equal in area, but triangles which are equal in area might or might not be congruent. So that's what we learned in the last tutorial. Let's see what is there today in the menu. Today we are going to learn circles, different parts of circles. Let me introduce this to you. It will be good to know, even though your syllabus might not demand it right now, but it's good to know a concept in full. Then we will learn area of triangle. Then we will learn what is pi. You must have seen this movie Life of Pi. So pi is one of the most beautiful numbers in maths, and we'll learn what is pi. Conversion of units, I don't even know why I've put it here. It's very simple. I'll spend about 30 seconds on it. Applications, I have put it here, but basically I have covered it. And so if you see my mensuration video of grade 6, okay, so go to my channel and then look for the mensuration video under the playlist of grade 6. You will find it, and that is where I have explained the application. Whatever problems are here, basically garden, you put a path around the garden and stuff like that, all those problems I have discussed already. Let's quickly jump onto the video. Okay, so what do we have here? This is a circle, okay, and in a circle, this is the center. First of all, understand what is a circle. Circle is a geometric figure in which there is a central point, and the distance from that point, let's call it O, to any point on the circle is the same. Yeah, that is the definition of circle. So how do we create a circle? We take a compass, we take a pencil, we put the compass on one center, and then we just rotate with the pencil and we get a circle. Okay, so that's how we do that. Now this, from the circle to the circumference, the distance which we get is radius. If I draw a line segment joining two ends of the circumference and passing through the center, it is a diameter. So diameter is 2 times the radius. So basically this is radius. If I extend it to the other side, that will be diameter. Between two radius, whatever area I get, that I call, that is known as a sector. Okay, so this is a sector. This, a part of the circle's circumference, is, it's called an arc. Okay, if you draw a line segment which basically joins 2 points on the circle, it's called a chord. And obviously diameter is also a chord, and diameter is the largest or the longest chord of the circle. Okay, because it passes through the center, so it is equal to 2 radius. And then obviously you can see that when you are not passing through the circle, length of the chord will reduce. So the longest chord is the diameter. Diameter is also a chord, and the area between the chord and the arc is a segment. So this is a segment, and this is also a segment. This is a minor segment, this is a major segment. So this is also a segment. At any point of a circle, if there is a line that just grazes it and goes, this line is tangent. So it basically touches the circle at just one point. And if you join the center of the circle to that point, this is the perpendicular. And this is called perpendicular because this is 90 degrees. And I will not cover it right now, but I will tell you about this later. So let me just rub it clean so that. So property of a tangent is that, let's say it touches the circle here, and then if I join, I just join this point to this point to the center. So this will be a perpendicular on the tangent. That is the property of tangent. It's a perpendicular on the tangent. So this radius, this will be a radius, right? But this radius will be perpendicular to the tangent. Okay? There is a cool reference of perpendicular and tangent in a Bollywood movie called Gangs of Wasipur Part 2. It's an Anurag Kashyap movie. So two of his characters are called tangent and perpendicular. Anyway, moving on to more serious stuff. Now let's talk about area of a circle. So first of all, before I get into area of circle, I really wanted to discuss pi, the concept of pi. And I think it is one of those things which is really important to know. Generally in maths books you will see that pi is equal to 22.7 or pi is equal to 3.14, which basically is nothing but, as we divide 22 by 7, we get 3.142, and like it goes on, okay, and then it continues to recur, okay. So let me just do it for you, because this concept is something that I even like when I was a kid I did not understand, but then one of my friends made me understand this concept. I put a decimal, I get a 0, 1, 7, and you know that after 6 digits it will repeat, because 7 will have 6 remainders, okay. 28, 2, right, 20, 1, 4, 2, 14, I get 6 here, okay. So I will continue 60, 8 times, sorry, 40, 5 times, 35, 5 0, 7 7s are 49, we get 1, and we are back here, right, we get 1, I get a 0, so we are back here. So again it will now repeat 3.14287 bar, which means this value will continue to repeat. For simplification purposes, pi is taken as 3.14, okay. In mathematics books you will see that. But let me tell you that this is not the value of pi. Confused? So what is pi? This is not the value of pi, because see, pi is an irrational number. Pi is not a rational number. What is an irrational number? Any decimal which is infinite and non-recurring. But here we saw that, yeah, this decimal was recurring and it was infinite. So infinite recurring decimals, they are basically rational numbers. You're right. This value 20, basically that value is derived from 22 by 7, which is a rational number. And basically this is the closest value of pi that has been estimated by mathematicians. This value has been estimated so that all our calculations etc. can be done, and 3.14, this approximation is basically the decimal conversion of this fraction 22 by 7. Actually this is not equal to pi, this is just about equal to pi. Then what is pi? Pi basically is a ratio, okay. Pi is a ratio of, you draw any circle in the world, you know, you take its diameter, measure the length of the diameter, and then measure the length of the circumference, okay, and then you take the ratio, of the circumference, okay, to the diameter, and the circumference is taken as 2 pi r, and the diameter is basically 2r, r is the radius, and it gets cut and you get a value pi. Now you can ask that what is pi? So basically we never calculated the circumferences formula as 2 pi r, or we never calculated the radius as 2r first. Basically this was done empirically. Empirically means that you draw any circle in the world, smaller to smaller or bigger to bigger, and then you physically measure the distance and then you divide it Every single time you will get the same ratio, and that ratio is pi. And that ratio is pi. And then pi is an infinite. This is the actual, see, 3.1415999, and it can go on. You can Google it also. And this is a non-recurring infinite decimal. So basically 3.14 was taken, and then the closest estimation of the value of pi was done as 22/7, and this value that you see 3.14, which is also approximately equal to this value, is just a decimal representation. So that's pi, and pi is an irrational number. So never ever get confused in examination. Sometimes they will ask you that is pi rational, and you will think that okay, pi is equal to 22/7, therefore p by q is not equal to 0, therefore rational. No friends, this is not pi, this is just an approximate value of pi. Hope your concept is clear. Okay, let's go through now area of a circle. Now we know that circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, okay, where pi is a constant, okay. And then first pi was discovered, then this formula was made. So this is 2 pi r. What will be the area of a circle? Here what I have done is that I have cut the circle into 8 equal sectors. If you remember, this is a sector, okay. So these are all sectors, right? These are all sectors, 8 equal sectors. Now I have arranged it like this. 4 sectors I have put like that, and then 4 sectors I have put after inversing it. Now you see, roughly here right now I'm getting some curves, okay, I'm getting some curves, but roughly when I look at it, does it give me a sense of a parallelogram? Does it give me a sense of a parallelogram? I think it does. Not agreeing with me? Okay, so right now I have 8 parts. What if I make so many parts? Here you can see I've created infinite number of parts. Then what happens is that these parts which you see here, these arcs which are curved, these arcs basically will not be curved anymore. These will be so small that it will be like a straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line. That's what has happened here. So basically the entire circumference we have laid out such that this will be one half of the circumference, and this will be the other half of the circumference, right? And what will be this? This will be the radius, right? Because this is the radius, that this is the part which I am putting here, right? So this will be the radius, correct? Now for this to happen, you really have to chop it into very, 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 very small parts, okay? This is a visual representation, and therefore we get a rectangle. And the area of a rectangle is what? Length into breadth. What is the length? Half of the circumference, which is 2 pi r is the circumference. So what is half of the circumference? It is pi r. What is the length? It is r. So what is the area? Pi r square. That is how we calculate the area of a circle. Fantastic. I am very happy now. Conversion of units. See, sometimes you will get all these units. It's called millimeter. So I had basically remembered it as millicenti decimeter. Okay, this is my baseline. That's how I remembered it as a kid. Deca, hecto, kilometer. So 3 below and 3 above, and all are into 10 into 10 into 10 into 10 into 10 into 10. Very simple, yeah. And then you can do the calculations like, yeah, so let's start with meter. 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeter. Okay, the difference between decimeter and decameter is that decimeter d is small, and then decameter d is capital. So if dm is written, then understand it's decameter. If small d is written, then decimeter. Okay, these are a little things you should know. When we are calculating area, sometimes what happens is that we say that, we multiply centimeter square, 1 centimeter square, which is basically 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter. Now if I have to express it as how many millimeter square, what I will do, I will put 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter, and then I will replace 1 centimeter as millimeters. So 1 centimeter has 10 millimeters, right? And then again it has 10 millimeters. So I will get 100 millimeter square. So don't make the mistake of writing it as 10 millimeter square. A lot of people make these mistakes. So first break it down. 1 centimeter square is 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter, and then do the conversion. Similarly, 1 meter square is 1 meter into 1 meter, and if I have to express it as centimeters, it will be 100 centimeters into 100 centimeters. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 centimeters square. It will be 10,000 centimeters square. So that's how we convert units when it comes to areas. Cool. Now let's come to application. See, I've done these questions earlier in my previous mensuration video, so I'll request you to go to that video and see it. I will do one more because we are doing it here. Okay, so there is a path of 5 meter wide path runs along inside a square park of side 100 meter. Find the area of the path. Every side is 100 meter. Every side is 100 meter. Every side is 100 meter. The path is 5 meters, so this is 5 meter. This is also 5 meter. So what will be PS? PS will be 100 minus 5 and minus 5 from here. So this will be what? 90 meters. What will be PQ? This hole is 100 meter. This is 5 meter. This is 5 meter. So we have to remove 10 meters. This will also be 90, 90, 90. So two ways to figure it out. Area of the larger square outside is 10,000. Area of the smaller square inside is 90 into 90. Don't forget to put the units, otherwise your marks will be deducted. It will be 8100 meter square. Get the difference, which is 1900 meter square. That's one way of doing it. That's one way of doing it. Okay, and I think that's, in this scenario specifically, that's the easiest way to do it. But you can also choose to do it another way, and this I have discussed, but I will discuss it one more time. I have discussed it not today, but I have discussed it in the class 6th mensuration video. Okay, now check out, I am just making these lines here. Okay, so the area of the path is basically this area, this rectangle right here, this rectangle right here. Okay, let me change the color. This smaller rectangle here, right, and this smaller rectangle here. So basically I will find this rectangle is equal to this rectangle is equal to this rectangle. I will find out the area of this rectangle, multiply by 2. I will find out the area of this rectangle, multiply by 2. I will add the 2. Okay, this is what is the length, it is 100. What is the breadth, it is 5. So this is 500 into 2 is 1000. This rectangle, what is the length? 100 minus 5 minus 5. So this is 90. And what is the breadth? 5. 450. Okay. Again, there are two such triangles. I will multiply by 2. It is 900. What is the area? 1900 square meter. Please do not forget the unit. Okay. Don't be like me. Don't be clumsy like me. 1900 square meter square. Now it says that the cost of cementing it at the rate of 250 rupees per 10 meter square. So for 10 meter square, the cost is 250 rupees. So for 1 meter square, the cost will be 25 rupees. So for 1900 meter square into 25, do the calculation. End of the story. So guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed, especially the parts on circles and parallelograms in the previous one. And if you have any doubts, please write to me, or you can drop me a comment. And if you do enjoy the video, please to share it with other people. See you in the next one. Goodbye.